And welcome back, picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire. Where last time we were starting to reposition in an attempt to try to take this city before it gets taken by our ally, because Bronbund here has declared on us again. They haven't quite formed up on the front properly yet, which is why we were able to, and actually we can move a little bit farther forward here. Why we were able to basically seize one of their airfields with no real opposition. So we're in the middle of redeploying the motorized units south again in an attempt to come take the city. One of the merc units took this tile and then went, because the city was not reconnaissance as being having anything in it, so we tried to take it. The merc unit got basically torn up trying to do that. So at the moment we're basically at the end of the turn, doing one quick look over to see if there's anything that should be done that I missed at the end of the last part. The answer appears to be no. We could probably push a little bit on this nomads if we want a little bit more territory. These guys here. Yeah, these guys here are sort of static again, because pushing into the mountain is just a bad idea. So we're kind of waiting for, I think this is a marauder, waiting for the marauder to sort of come to us. We just encircled this guy, so if he doesn't try to escape next turn, we'll probably push him a bit. We're pushing these guys up between Bronbund here and our bunch of militia. The militia, because they're actually fairly late game militia, are actually quite decent. And they're big units, so once you account for that, they might actually be able to stand toe-to-toe with Bronbund units. Whereas the older ones that we have in the west here are basically totaled and gonna sort of scurry back to places where I'm setting up cities. So here's gonna be a forward city once it's set up, which is why I'm building the railhead and the truck station here. Once that's set up, I'm gonna make this its own zone. It's gonna exploit this oil well here and basically provide logistical support to the front. At least until we take the city and run a railroad down to supply the city. So yeah, I think we're basically at the end of the turn. The once over looked promising, so let's end the turn. We are dealing or are improving radiation treatment pretty much everywhere that's been nuked. And I have been doing some sort of bribery behind the scenes to try to put Bronbund in the state where we could potentially declare peace with them again. If we get nuked as a response to being nuked, to give us some time to recover from it. Not really expecting much to come off of Bronburn over the end turn here. Most of our lines should be pretty entrenched / battle hardened, so I'm not really expecting any attacks coming in off of them. On the other hand, I am expecting to see a decent amount of movement around the city down south. Which, if we could take it, would probably be a pretty nice prize. To be fair, we probably have enough industrial capacity we can force over the mountain. Oh, interesting. They actually managed to do a pushback operation in the west. Looks like they're not in a position to necessarily exploit it, but they did manage to do some damage. It may be because I think that unit is still light infantry, so it might just be pure infantry. And now we're on to the militarist AI. They don't share a border with us, so we're not really going to see anything on the end turn from them. They may also be at war with the same people we're at war with, so knowing that they're taking a long term is interesting in and of itself, because that means they are doing stuff. So this is the Republican AI. The Republican AI is willing to basically be an ally to us, which means we could sign a victory pact with them, which would pretty much catapult us, I think, to actually like second place. It might not be enough to get us up to second place if we were to victory pact with them. At the moment, it's not enough for us to win, right? Which is why we haven't done it. Depending on how well the game is going, I may take a save if we're victory packing with them. Victory pack, get the win, and then sort of load the save so that we can see what it would be if we didn't victory pack them. I did that in the last game. On the Borealis start planet. This one might be a little bit less favorable doing that just because it's a bigger planet. So I might take the win. I might take the W and end the game, but we'll see. So Dessau Reich is the theocratic one that's blackmailing us. So they're the same sort of RP group as the one we're openly hostile with. But they have a faction in charge that is preferring to blackmail rather than declare open hostilities. So they're being a little bit easier to keep neutral. So what's ending happening there? And obviously the remaining independents weren't that important, so it basically moved to giving us decisions. So we have 6 decisions, and we did lose some units that we'll have to try to replace during the turn. Commander of the 8th Light Infantry Brigade was killed in action. So that was probably the units that got pushed back, probably lost their captain. Micro-nuke RPG for when you really need the enemy vehicle to explode. We're probably not going to rush to do that. Unless your vehicles could be. Yeah.
Order acknowledged.
Do we want to redesign anything here? Could do a light Thopter. For use as a heavy aircraft. I'm probably going to hold off on that. Yeah, I think everything else is fine. For the moment. Minor worker strike. We can give in to a little bit of their demands.
Aye, aye, sir.
No one traders want to sell me ammunition. We'll accept. We're pro-commerce. Natural born leader. We're meritocracy and commerce. Ooh, both of those are bad. Don't want either of those options. I can probably tolerate. Well, I'd probably willingly tolerate commerce going down more than meritocracy. And this is our military commander that we have in reserve in case we needed one. So let's take that replacement. On the diplomacy side, let's try our bribery.
Affirmative.
Bribery is successful. These guys we're going to have to play a Shadow Diplomat probably to do any diplomacy with, so I might hold off on them. They're relations 81, so they're not a rush. Don't necessarily want to spend political power on the aliens. What I could do here, and this is probably actually something to do, is let's go ahead, let's swap to scrap mode. I don't need any of the minor ones anymore, just besides the Xeno Diplomat ones. This will mean that we'll start regenerating them, and we can use those scrap points to get some additional cards there. A little bit noisy doing that. Thinking Xeno's not bad. I think Parks is not bad. So those are plus mind. Militarist, I think that's Fist. We don't want Fist. I'm actually... Oh, because it auto scraps stuff that takes you over the limit on the card. So I've got more scrap points than I was expecting. And for some reason that is noisier than most of the other game. I'll have to go at some point and try to find the noise modifier for that to turn that noise down. Sorry about that. Had a cough coming and had to mute the mic. We're going to recruit a couple military leaders here. So we have military leaders in case we take more combat casualties. We could probably grab the government razor here, militant spy and that sort of stuff, but don't need them right now. The zone stuff will come in nice for new zones, because it's basically giving us ways to drop private buildings in the new zones. Okay, so this guy wants to continue running up here to get its reinforcements. Basically, I'm putting the 9th motorized on here to recover. The heavier vehicles are on their way south, so we can get them basically into their staging area, which is here for the attack on the city, which is good to see. And then the tanks. Tanks probably need another turn. The tanks will be sort of instrumental in not taking losses in the first stage of the attack due to their armor. So obviously the 8th Light, yeah, so the 8th Light is Light Brigade. It's not necessarily the toughest of brigades, got pushed back by basically dedicated anti-infantry assault. So let's queue up some replacements. We are starting to get machines coming in again, so let's actually do the replacements with the higher quality foot 5. That looks like that's actually all the replacements, because it was just the light squad that got attacked. And yeah, our goal here is probably to push in to the city, which is right here. We've only just arrived at the motorized units, so we should be able to start contemplating that next turn. We did acquire this airbase. It is an airbase level 1. So I'm actually interested in potentially putting some Air Force units there, because they would be higher quality operating off of that airbase. We're not going to be able to raise a formation there this turn, but maybe next turn we'll be able to raise up some reconnaissance fixed-winged aircraft to do some reconnaissance for us. Now comes the construction. Truck station and railhead is finished, so this is going to become a new zone. And I'm going to expand the zone borders just a bit. Let's go up and go all the way out to 3. Obviously, we're gonna want the petrol well at some point. Zone's obviously gonna need some assets and stuff. I will hold off one turn on giving the... That's an interesting name for a zone. Xeno Tributary? Okay. It named it. We'll need an administrator to run this. Contemplating that needing an administrator. We should probably recruit a civilian or someone to be that administrator. Talent. Let's recruit a talent. So it'll be basically, he'll probably be in the pool. Whether he ends up being a military commander or when the military commander gets this job, we'll find out next turn. Once we know who has that job, we can decide what we're going to do as far as getting this place civilian assets. And we'll send it a bunch of people as population, so it starts getting some population. The rest of the assets, we've finished Rad Treatment 2. We're still working in Anti-Rad 2. The major cities that have been nuked will probably want level 3 of each.
Sir, yes, sir.
To get the hazard, the radiation hazard to go away. As you can see here, it's taking a happiness penalty from having 90,000 people in exposure hazard level 3. I think we should pretty much be covered by level 3 of both, should some provide that level of protection. And then we can start doing stuff to lower things like wages, right? So we've turned wages up to compensate. In fact, in some cases, I might already be able to start doing it. Because we are starting to get close in some cases. So this one still wants to be expanded. So we're working on Rad 3. We're basically done at Rad 2, okay. Once we have the immediate radiation problems dealt with, assuming I have power, I should set up some radiation cleansing facilities to actually deplete the radiation, to make preparations for if we get nuked again, basically. Oh, it's still building both of them here. Yeah. Still building both of them here. It's probably still building both of them here as well. Oh, no. Let's get the anti-rad infrastructure 3 going. Now, handling replacements, it may be tempting to summon or to recruit another infantry unit, another infantry brigade. But I'm going to hold off on that a little bit. Our metal is improving, but I'm not sure if it's improved that much. Especially as I'm queuing up more construction. Building the road there. This is the Nomads that just sold us some ammo. This is unaligned. I'm really hoping this guy will move forward. I'd rather fight him in the low mountains than the high mountains. That's what's going on there.
Move it now! All clear, sir.
This is Bronbone. Okay, so you want to push into blue supply with the militia? I think the answer is going to be no. I'm going to hold off for a moment. We will extend the road a little bit. Basically taking advantage of the fact that I'm got plenty of industrial power for the moment. We prefer to not be spending it like this, but at some point we're going to have to spend it, so sooner rather than later is inevitable. Alright, so we've gone ahead and circled what's left of the Marauders here. So mostly this is going to be units walking forward, by the looks of it. Take territory. And put some pressure on Bronbund to keep them probably from trying to take territory elsewhere. Do I want... Yeah, let's go ahead and try to close the pocket a little bit. They run towards Bronburn, they're running towards Bronburn, it'll be fine.
All clear, sir.
Most of the units here don't have... Yeah, most of them have the action points to carry out the attack to finish that off, but that's fine. So that's that front. Really, to advance on the west, we need more forces, because otherwise I'm just going to get myself encircled. I'm going to do a little bit of poking. Get off of the plains and onto the mountains. It's probably a good place to be, yes. Militia's moving. Are you in a place where you can strategic move? Yes. Okay, so we can get you positioned. It should get a remainder as replacements next turn. And then we can contemplate moving that unit out. So what are you... Probably missing its foot. It's probably a couple foot units short. Strategic move these guys, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do some editing because I'm gonna probably try to edit out that phone call, but we'll see how well that works. Yeah, we can definitely see the logistics has significantly improved. Because we actually have the ability... Ah! The enemy actually had some fighters! Which made that pretty bad for me. Yeah, so we can see now the enemy actually has some fighter squadrons, so I should probably put up some fighter squadrons of my own. And or try to regularly wreck their airbase. But that is for the future. And obviously the tank battalions, or the tank brigades are too heavy strategic movement that's close to the front. Okay. Yeah, current plan is to get into attack positions to attack the city. And apparently try to replace our vehicle losses, because I just lost some helicopters. Where are the helicopters in replacement here? Oh, those are fighter bombers. Oh, they are fighter bombers. Yes, there we go. Okay, so next turn, these guys should be reinforced and ready to start redeploying. The tanks should be in position, and we maybe start the offensive on the next turn. Opinion-wise, we have improved Bronburn back up to 19, so we're only like 2 or 3 turns out from being able to declare peace with them again. Which then would allow us to sort of declare peace on our terms. That's fine. I think we already moved down here, yeah. So I think this is pretty much the end of the turn. Let's go ahead and get the turn cycled. Yeah, and probably next turn we'll probably deploy some of these assets to try to cover the quality of life info on the new zone. Yeah, and the anti-rad's coming along, so we're building anti-rad 3, finish anti-rad 2, or anti-rad 3, well, normal rad 3, or rad treatment 3, soon. So at this point, this one might actually start wanting to contemplate, because this is definitely the capital. This is the place where I'd prioritize it. Is picking up radiation cleansing. So I might start building radiation cleansing next turn there. And then just bunkerize some more to get the place properly entrenched so that the nukes don't do too much damage the next time they come in. But yeah, let's cycle. Let's leave some political power for next turn, so I can build those improvements, build those private improvements. So the major that we're at war with gets to go first. So let's see what they do on their turn. The AI at this point probably can see the motorized units building up on their border. So we'll see if they start redeploying to try to block that offensive. And to be fair, they probably see the whole exposed western border, so we'll see if they block to redeploy to actually block the western front. They attacked. Basically, they pushed back the two weakened units again, but they're not really in a position to capitalize on what's going on. Okay, Runburn is showing that they can at least show the militia a lot of damage. Defender stands firm, but they are attacking, apparently into the teeth of my offensive, which is maybe not the best place for them to do that. And of course, the offensive units stand firm in the defense. Probably took a little bit of losses, but I think it was probably cost-effective to defend there. And now we're on to the militarist AI. Who I think opinion-wise are technically cold. The ally, well, I say ally, the one that has allied intentions. I think they're Republican RP. And then the blackmailing AI, which as long as they're blackmailing are pretty fine to be next to. We have pretty high relations with them, so there is a possibility if they declared war on us, we could just about face and go like, Uno reverse card, here's our offer of peace, and they would just accept. So I'm not too worried about them declaring. Apparently there is one regime on the world that we do not know about. There's the online guys trying to break out. And okay, that wasn't a particularly great turn. We can see we're almost losing as many as we're taking, but in theory, that means we're probably losing our older units, which means they'll just hopefully get just replaced with better ones. Secret Service will leave them balanced. At this point, I'm pretty much done optimizing the ones I care about, so it doesn't really matter which one I take here. New governor. Surprised they're not taking Fanny over here. So they're going for Neela. It's actually anti-meritocracy, okay. We'll do Neela. We might have to replace Neela later, but for the moment, that'll be fine. Okay, so it looks like in the capital of Ergstone... Oh, I let capital Ergstone drop below 50. That's what's happening there. Zones. Do we have a... We have a zoo project. That's not what I'm looking for. Wages are 13. I may have to just give them a wage raise, which I ideally don't want to do, but I'll do it.
Copy that. Copy that.
Alright, that should get people going back to work again. It hasn't really delayed too much. It did delay Rad Treatment 3 one turn. And we are going to... because we are about to finish Rad Treatment 3. Now I'm going to start construction of the radiation cleansing to deal with the radiation. We'll probably be good enough to just have one radiation cleansing level. Anti-rad finished here. So let's queue up level 3 of that. And probably next turn we'll queue up the cleansing as well there. Anti-rad 2, about to finish. Anti-rad 3 in production queue. When I should be checking Yorba 50. Yorba 50. In fact, here we might actually be in a position, because it's really high, of starting to lower the wages, but we'll wait until we have the anti-rad, or have the radiation cleansing in. I'm going to be a little bit... Actually, can I shimmy a bit? Do we have any spare slack in the line? Yeah, we can let the mountains. Yeah, let's have the RPG guy try to cover a square by himself. It's not necessarily the smartest idea, but we'll do that. That'll buy us a little bit more space so we can reinforce the depleted unit there until he gets his reinforcements. We are getting machines at a high enough rate that we can go and do replacements with foot 5. Oh, and the rest of the losses were militia. Okay, so that's real good to see. So that actually means the unit down here pretty much held. It didn't take any losses. It was bad for the enemy. You did not receive your replacement. Okay, so we're gonna give you another turn just so that you can try to get back your last missing unit, subunit, which appears to have been a truck. I thought we lost a truck near the front. Stinks aren't ready this turn. They will be ready next turn. This zone now is a zone, so let's start playing strat cards on this zone. Obviously, first place is we play our zoo project. So the zoo provides, I believe, entertainment? Education. It's an education deployment, okay. Wouldn't mind status, because commercial will suppress status. So we'll play the status surveillance. That's going to provide us some security. And to be fair, that will provide all the security this place probably needs. So 100 security there is fine. It's full front, okay. Private lab. That's probably education. We could use a little more education here, so we'll play
Order acknowledged.
the casino, which is probably entertainment. 50 entertainment. Play the lab. Lab is health. So that's 100 health. So we got 100 health, 100 entertainment, or 100 health, 100 security, like 50 of... Parks are probably entertainment. We don't need more entertainment. Actually, no, we could use a little bit more entertainment. Let's play the cards as well. Okay, so there we got 100 of everything except for education. I don't want schools, or I don't want autocratic schools. We don't want to increase our autocracy if we can. Same thing with the fist stuff. We'll discard the fist stuff. The autocratic one. Heart's fine, but we don't need any more entertainment. Brothels entertainment. Militia House. Militia House I might play in the capital to try to get some more militia points. And commercial museum might be what we're looking for. Let's see if the museum is what we want. There we go. Okay, so that basically is going to give this place 100 quality of life. We'll take a turn to roll in. And to be fair, we're going to need to shove a lot more people here. So, as colonists, all people.
Order acknowledged.
So they're going to have a worker shortage for a while. We should be able to work with that fine. Okay, and then capital. Strat cards. Let's play the
Copy
militia
that.
house. And if I can,
Copy
both
that.
militia houses. There we go. So militia house, if it is what I remember it being. See if we can find it. Home schools. Did I forget to dump the target? Nope, it should have been there. Scout schools. Nope, nope, nope. Militia house, there it is. Provides militancy. So if we have a militia house 3, it should actually provide enough militancy, and we might be able to get militancy positive again here.
Affirmative.
There we go. So we can see what the militancy is. Increases 5 due to high loyalty, decreases 5 due to regular military forces. So that militia building should actually mean we start getting some militancy in the capital. Which means we'll start getting some more militia forces again to do garrison duties and stuff. Garrison duty and picket duty and stuff. We'll pile on in here. Deal with that little bit of militia. Boom, firepower.
All clear, sir.
And then we can start pushing forward on Brunburn. Probably not really fight the militia, more just sort of try to outmaneuver them with the raw numbers. These guys can stay static, those guys can stay static. These militias should probably get back to wherever they came from at some point. I have a suspicion these guys are at war with each other. It's probably why the friendly AI hasn't been most effective at fighting around the city over here. It's probably because they're fighting a multi-front war. See if we get fired back at. I don't think we will. So this is going to go through our ammunition a little bit, which is potentially a problem if we're not getting adequate supply down here. I think these guys are on blue. Well, they're probably on blue because they're demanding a bunch of petrol from moving down here. And demanding a bunch of ammunition from being in combat. As you can see, these guys potentially demand a lot of ammunition. And it's really easy to overwhelm the logistics network with ammunition. Alright, so this zone's looking good. This zone was pretty good to start with. Probably could use a little bit of education, so that's actually maybe a thing we can check, is do we have education to give them... Oh, before I use all my political power, have we bribed you this turn? No.
Affirmative.
Then we fail. Okay, so we got a little bit of political power. Probably don't have the political power to pay any more these cards. Yeah, because they cost like 16 each. But we'd probably be interested in more education here, if we could get it. Bell has a worker problem, probably because there isn't enough. The public or the private income got a little high. Yeah, we're not gonna fix that right now. They're happy. They're happy. They're happy. At some point, we'll come around and probably try to lower wages here, because the income here started to drop back down, and I dread to what I'm thinking paying the workers right now. Yeah, we're paying the workers like twice as much what the civilians are getting paid. There. Pretty sure I was paying them more than that. Well, oh yeah, no, never mind. It's dropping to 0. That's where the confusion's coming from. And then Belrod here, we're paying them everything we can. But yeah, as we get these guys happier, we'll probably try to drop the payments down a bit. Down again. We probably are burning through money, so it does make sense to sell stuff if we have it surplus. We have the most surplus on rare metals. Let's sell off a bunch of rare metals. Make sure we have money to keep everything working. A little worried about the blue here, but I think that is ammunition requests. Because it shows that we're in green supply here, which probably just means we overwhelmed the logistic network temporarily from the ammo request. Plus the inevitable worker shortages, because we just need so many workers. Okay, so I think that's a good turn. We're gonna go ahead and cycle the turn. Based on the time, this is going to be the last end turn of the part. I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing, because I'm going to try to edit out the ringing from the phone call in the middle. So if you don't hear that, and you're watching on YouTube, I remembered to do it and then did it. If you're watching on Twitch, sorry you had to hear a little bit that was caught on mic. Wasn't the best timing with trying to mute it out, while also telling you that I was going to mute the mic for a bit to deal with the phone call. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be probably another part up tomorrow, because I will try to record another part tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, hang around. I'm going to take a quick stretch between parts and then start recording the next part. Well, as soon as the end turn is over, we're going to see how the enemy is responding. Looks like they're moving westward, which kind of makes sense because they've got a big exposed border on the west. And I'm not too worried about them just sort of running off into the sunset in my east, because they're not going to get far enough that they can do anything if I cut their supplies off. So if need be, I can put troops behind them and just sort of starve them right now because I don't have enough to form a battle line. It looks like in our west, our battle line held. We did get poked a little bit, but it wasn't a lot. And here's the militarists that don't share a border with us right now and are in cold opinion. So we don't really need to be worried about what they're doing, and we probably won't see what they're doing. May be able to raise an actual fighter unit next turn. Try to do some air defense in the frontage. If I can suppress the enemy's air assets, then I'll start being able to do ground attack with the helicopters again. But yeah, losing a third of the helicopters in the last attack was maybe a little high. Which reminds me I should check the applied sciences, both for the Air Force and the Economic Council. Alright, both economics. Those are probably pretty done. They probably need to be updated. Because if I remember correctly, the one I'm working on with the Air Force is actually one that's going to increase combat range. Which may allow me to put heavier weapons on smaller aircraft, or just have what would otherwise be short-range aircraft have surprising range at this point. And that's the end turn. So apparently it was a pretty boring end turn. I thought I was attacked by the theocratic guys, but if they attacked, apparently it didn't do any damage. We have 2 decisions, and that's what we'll pick up with in the next part. So if you're watching on YouTube, hope you've been enjoying it. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. After a quick stretch, I will pick up from where we left off. So catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.